What's up, cyber world? This is Rizzoh, baby, coming at you live and direct from Field Rat headquarters. I want to talk to you a little bit. Um, for a little while this evening, I want to share a story. I want to share a story about something uh, that happened to me probably about 3 years ago, and um, it's a story about a guy named Benny that I met, and Benny's Benny had a buddy. I forgot his name, and I wish I could remember. But I want to talk about Benny and his buddy. Probably about 3 years ago, I moved back from South Carolina. I moved back to Louisiana, and I was living in Moss Bluff. And I remember that I was walking to my sister's house. She lived in a trailer park in Moss Bluff. And they had, the place she was renting was really nice, and she was getting a good deal on it. But they had a few homes in that neighborhood that the trailers were real cheap to rent, and they had a lot of kind of riffraff type people living there, and a lot of drugs and a lot of crime and stuff like that from those people. And I remember I was walking to my sister's house from our little apartment we had in Moss Bluff, and they had at the entrance of the trailer park subdivision that they had a four-way intersection of two roads that ran across each other. And at one corner of that intersection, they had a convenience store. And one of the roads that the four-way led straight to the neighborhood where the trailers were. So I was walking there, and at that time I was wearing a black fedora. I was wearing a black t-shirt, some baggy khaki cargo shorts and some black tennis shoes. I had my shades on, and I think I had a bandana on my head too, or something. I can't remember. But I looked like I was from the hood, And when I was walking through the parking lot of that convenience store, I saw these two guys walking from the trailer park to the convenience store, and they were walking into the store while I was walking by. And it was two white guys, and the dudes were pretty close to each other, and he walked up to me, and the tall guy, he was like, "Hey man, you from New Orleans or something?" I was like, "No." And he said, "Hey," and he came up real close. He said, "Hey, bro, you know where I can get any weed from?" And I just looked at him like he was stupid, I said, "No." And he said, "Oh, hold on. Let me go in the store and we'll come right back." So I went in the store and bought him a soda, and he was lit up on a bunch of meth, and he said he had some ecstasy pills. So I waited for him, and because I was going to witness to him. I felt like the Lord had set that up. So Benny and his buddy that was rolling on pills and high on meth came back. He asked me if I had some weed again. I said, no, bro. I said, I got something better than that. He said, oh, you got something better than weed? I said, yeah, man. I said, what I got, dude, you take it, man. You stay high. And I said, it's free, too. He said, man, what you got? I said, dude, I got the Holy Ghost. And I started witnessing to him about the Lord. He's like, oh. He said, and we got to talking, and we started walking back. I was walking to my sister's house, and they were walking with me. One guy on each side. And, I told him, I was like, dude, I said, I used to do drugs. I used to sell drugs. I said, I went to jail. I said, I learned my lesson, man. I got in church. I said, it's a better high than I've ever had. I said, I haven't touched drugs, man, in 20 years. I said, I haven't been in trouble with the law since then. He's like, oh, man. He said, that's good, man. He said, I just got out of prison myself. I said, you just got out of prison? He said, yeah, man, about a month ago, and I'm on parole right now. I said, really? He said, yeah, man. He said, I did 8 years for burglary, breaking and entering and burglary, and possession of stolen goods in excess of, I don't know, $500, whatever. Yeah, he had some felonies. And I said, so what you're telling me is you just got out of prison a month ago, and you're high on pills and meth, and you're selling it and wanting to trade me for weed. He said, oh man, I gotta sell this because I have a little girl, I have a little daughter, man, I gotta take care of her. I was like, Benny, I said, dude, I said, why don't you get a real job? I said, oh, I can't find work, is what he told me. I said, look, Benny, I said, at the rate you're going right now, of just being out of prison and you're already doing this stuff, I said, man, you're about to go back to prison, dude, for real. You're going to violate your probation, and you're going back to prison. You are. And I said, and we were walking down the road, I said, look, man, I said, you're doing the drugs, and in your mind, you see that way down the road. You see that you're going to make money and get a job and get off of it eventually. I said, but the end of that road that you're on isn't way down there at the end of the road. I said, it's right here, dude. That's the reality. It's right touching your freaking nose. And I said, you think you got all this time, man? I said, you ain't got no time, bro. So you need to get off that freaking crap and get a job. And stay away, I said, because next time you get picked up and violate your parole, and if you pick up any more charges besides parole violation, which is usually the only way they get you, unless you fail a drug test, I said, they're going to add that charge and plus violating parole. I said, dude, you're going back for a long time, man. You ain't never going to see your daughter again. And he was right here, and the other guy ain't said a word, man. He was just walking with us. I don't even know his name. That's how quiet he was. And so, okay. Thanks, man. I'm gonna think about that. That's what he told me. I said, okay, Benny. I said, I'm gonna be praying for you, bro. And I was in a conversation. I went into my sister's house, and oddly enough, he lived right next door. And that was the last I saw of Benny, for about 2 or 3 weeks. I'm gonna stop this and record a second video.